What's up, kids? Hope everybody's doing great. It's great to see you all on a Tuesday, and sitting out here, it's like 68 degrees right now. There's no way I'm going back in the studio right now. So let's talk about this great question. This came up in the group, I think like a week ago, and I was telling everybody in that it was a fantastic little conversation going on, that we talk about work hours. So a lot of us kind of look at a group like this, me included, before I started working less, and thought, in fact, Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Work Week, is kind of what got me started this entire journey. Because I used to work 16-hour days pretty regularly and actually loved it. I was missing my family. In my case, everybody's life circumstances are different, but in my case, I have 5 kids. What's up, Cian? Howdy, good to see you. I have 5 kids, and Jill and I love to obviously hang out with them. But I was working so much that it was not just starting to eat away at my, work-life balance with my family and getting in the way of traveling and doing some fun stuff like that, but it was starting to eat away at my heart. Like I was experiencing a lot of anxiety and depression, all kind of stuff, and part of that was just from overworking. All that to say, what got me started on this journey of working a lot less, and when this question comes up, I love diving in here, was really the stuff from Tim Ferriss. It was the 4-Hour Work Week. And so many of us have read that book and really done nothing with it. But that book has some amazing principles in it. And the 4-Hour Work Week just really explains how you can start dialing back the work that you do and being way more strategic with the things you choose to do in the hours that you have. And Tim would say this, and I would say this as well. Tim's been a fantastic mentor through this process over the years, that the work is not avoiding actually doing work for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 3 hours or whatever. It's just choosing what you do during those work hours. And Tim Ferriss and many of us that do this kind of life pattern aren't not doing something. I don't work I work like less than 30 minutes a day in my agency. I don't work less than 30 minutes a day and then sit here on my front porch or just go to the park and stare at the clouds. That's not realistic. We're entrepreneurs, right? We all love what we do, and we love thinking of the next thing and building the next thing and coming up with the next idea and working on the next system or the next team member, cracking the next code, whatever it is that we have to do. And that is what you get to do. So here's the thought. When you start dialing back, if you're working in an agency model, if you're a consultant, a digital agency owner, honestly, any business owner, any entrepreneur, any CEO, any person who's got business leadership responsibilities, when you start trying and forcing to dial back the hours, what happens is it forces really intentional business living and often personal living, where it makes us make really strategic, intentional choices about what are we going to do, what are we not going to do, what are we going to allow on our calendar, what are we not going to allow on our calendar. Those choices begin to hone our instincts and our ability to be that CEO of our own agency, to be a CEO of our business, to be the CEO of our consulting group, whatever we got, to really think as a CEO and make very clear tactical decisions about what we have to accomplish and when and how we're going to accomplish it, with what teams, through what means of delegation, being strategic about what things I should be doing and what things I should not be doing. All of those things make a huge difference. Hi there, good morning. All those things make a huge difference. Blue, be quiet, buddy. Hey, Blue, quiet. Good boy. Good boy. Blue's such a good dog. Good boy. All those things make a huge difference on how we process the work that we do and how we make decisions about how we're going to grow and how we're going to change our structure in leadership and in business. So forcing the hours back creates a fence, a structure, a parameter that gives us what we need to make those decisions, right? That's number one. The next thing is, once you, honestly, most business roles, business leadership roles that we're in, most of them can be done in just a couple hours a day. If you're running your own agency, running your own business, a service agency, a consulting agency, if you're a CEO of a larger organization, I used to hold a role like that. In my world, in my role, after I was there 6 or 8 months, even in a larger role where we had 200 employees, that's not a lot of employees. I know 200 is not that many compared to a lot of bigger companies, but even in that role, proper leadership and proper delegation and proper strategy around a leadership role can be done in very small amounts of time and much more effectively than if you're just sitting there all the time staring at the computer screen generating meetings for leadership and all that kind of stuff that don't need to happen. So being intentional about how we use our time and forcing the time fence around us to shrink up makes us really focus on the right decisions and take the right actions and be very, very intentional about delegation. The leadership we're putting around us, how we're training our leadership to work and function, how we're moving apart meetings, how we're dealing with clients, how we're structuring all of that. Then, once you get that down to that kind of a time frame where you can work 2 to 4 hours a day or less, all of a sudden you realize there's so much more that I could be doing with my skill set. The things that I could be doing, the way that I could generate living, the way I could generate my business can really grow now. Because once you free up the time and you've practiced the skills of the systems and the people, the delegation, to build that structure where you are working less and less and less, it doesn't mean you need to go and just lay in your front yard and stare at the clouds all day. That sounds boring. I don't want to watch movies all day. I like being an entrepreneur. But I've got time now to build something new. And now I'm not just building something new. We've built so many things over the years because I have time as the leader to be strategic and to be thoughtful about it. But I don't need to throw 80 hours a week at a new project now, because now I've got the skill sets in place and the team in place and all the structures in place to support a new project, a new business, a new venture with very little resource being used, because we're now very efficient at our model building. So that is the real magic around working less than 2 hours a day. As the banner, again, I'm mentioning what this person brought up in the group. The banner says less than 2 hours a day. And this person that was in the group, and I totally respect this, likes working 50, 70 hours a week. I have nothing wrong with that. I love being an entrepreneur. But if someone's working 50 to 70 hours a week in one business, and they're doing a lot of the button pushing, and they're having a lot of team meetings, and they're having a lot of strategy and re-strategy stuff going on constantly, that's honestly not very effective use of the leader's time. Your skill set, because you're an entrepreneur, because you can see things and crack codes and understand what the world needs and how to fix that, your skill set can be leveraged in so many cool ways. And that's what this is all about. That's why we have this group. At the essence of what we teach and talk about in here constantly, it comes down to making the right strategic decision with the right team members' skill sets and with the right systems in place to really take advantage of the market that, hey buddy, wanna say hi? With the right things in place, you can change the world. You can change people's lives. You can change your clients' lives, your team members' lives, the people that work as subcontractors for you, the people in your community. We have so much capacity, and there's so many ways to leverage who we are as entrepreneurs now, particularly in an amazing digital age like we live in. The world is so small, you can get so much done, and it's a really cool opportunity. So that's the answer to that question. I said I would answer it today at 10 o'clock. There you go. Hope you all are all well. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.